You keep saying you want better relationships, better opportunities, better life, better you. But look at what you're actually accepting. Look at who you're settling for. Look at what you're tolerating. You don't have a manifestation problem, you have a self-worth problem. Because here's the truth nobody wants to hear. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you believe you deserve. And right now, based on what you're accepting, you don't think you deserve much. Let me show you why you keep ending up with less than you want. And more importantly, how to finally start attracting what you're actually worth. Your life right now is a perfect reflection of what you think you deserve. Not what you say you deserve, not what you hope you deserve, what you actually deep down believe you're worth. You're in a relationship where you're doing all the work. That's because some part of you believes that that's what you have to do to be loved. You're in a job that underpays and overworks you. That's because some part of you believes that's all you're qualified for. You're surrounded by people who take more than they give. That's because some part of you believes that's the best you can get. I know that's uncomfortable to hear, but it's the truth. You're not a victim of bad luck, you're not cursed, you're not just unlucky in love or unlucky in life. You're operating from a belief system that says you're not worthy of more. And until you change that belief, nothing external will change. Because the universe doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you are. Let me guess. You keep attracting the same type of person, same issues, different face. Or you keep ending up in the same situations, different jobs, same problems, different cities, same struggles. You think it's a coincidence, bad luck, wrong timing. It's not, it's a pattern. And patterns exist because you're subconsciously seeking out what feels familiar. Even if what's familiar is dysfunctional. You grew up feeling like you had to earn love. You'll attract people who make you work for their affection. You learned early that your needs don't matter. You'll attract people who ignore your boundaries. You internalize that belief that you're too much or not enough, and then you'll attract people who confirm that belief. It's not that you're choosing wrong people, it's that you're choosing from a place of low self-worth. And low self-worth has a type, people who confirm what you already believe about yourself. You can't outrun your patterns by changing locations or people. You have to change the beliefs creating the patterns. Here's what you need to understand. Your worth isn't determined by what you've accomplished, how you look, what you own, or who loves you. Your worth is inherent. You were born with it. It doesn't increase when things go well, and it doesn't decrease when they don't. But somewhere along the way, you learned that your worth was conditional. Maybe your parents only showed love when you performed well. Maybe you were bullied and internalized that you were less than. Maybe you failed at something and decided it defined you. Maybe someone you loved left and you concluded you weren't enough. And you've been living from that wound ever since, trying to prove your worth, trying to earn your place, trying to be enough for people who will never see you as enough because you don't see yourself that way. But here's the shift. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to earn what's already yours. You're worthy because you exist. Not because of what you do, not because of what you have, not because of who validates you. You're worthy because you're here, and the moment you start believing that, everything changes. You know what tells me exactly what you think you deserve? Your standards, or lack of them. You let people treat you in ways you'd never treat them. You accept behavior you'd never display. You tolerate disrespect, inconsistency, half-effort. And you call it being understanding, being patient, being chill. But it's not any of those things. It's accepting less than you deserve because you don't believe you can get better. High standards aren't about being difficult or demanding. They're about knowing your worth and refusing to accept anything that contradicts it. It's saying, this is how I expect to be treated, and if you can't meet that, I'll find someone who can. It's walking away from opportunities that don't align with your value instead of desperately trying to make them work. It's choosing to be alone rather than accepting company that diminishes you. People with high standards aren't lucky. They just refuse to settle. And in refusing to settle, they create space for what they actually deserve to show up. You want better? Start requiring it. Not hoping for it, requiring it. Let's talk about energy. Because whether you believe it or not, you're broadcasting a frequency. When you walk into a room feeling unworthy, people sense it. When you enter a relationship feeling like you're lucky they chose you, they feel it. When you approach opportunities from a place of desperation, it shows. You don't have to say, I don't think I deserve this. Your energy says it for you. People can feel when you're coming from lack, when you're trying to prove yourself, when you're grateful just to be considered. And that energy repels what you want, because people who have their shit together don't resonate with desperate energy. Opportunities don't flow to people who are clinging, but when you shift your energy, when you start moving through life knowing you're the prize, knowing you bring value, knowing you deserve good things, everything shifts. You stop chasing, you start attracting. You stop feeling lucky when someone picks you. You start being selective about who you pick. That's not arrogance, that's alignment. That's operating from your actual worth instead of your perceived lack. Here's a hard question. How much are you investing in yourself? Not just money, time, energy, attention. Because people who believe they deserve more invest in becoming more. They read, they learn, they grow. They work on their mindset, their skills, their health, their character. They don't wait to become worthy, they act worthy now. And in acting worthy, they become the version of themselves that attracts what they want. But if you're spending your time scrolling, complaining, staying stagnant, and wondering why nothing changes, that's your answer. You're not investing in the person you need to become to attract what you say you want. You want a high-quality relationship, become a high-quality person. Work on your communication, your emotional intelligence, your capacity to show up. You want better opportunities? Develop better skills, expand your knowledge, build your network. You want a better life? Build better habits, better mindset, better discipline. You can't attract what you're not willing to become, and becoming requires investment. Every time you let someone cross a boundary, you're teaching them and yourself that your boundaries don't matter. Every time you say it's okay when it's not okay, you're communicating that your feelings are negotiable. Every time you accept treatment you don't want because you're scared of being alone, you're confirming your belief that you don't deserve better. Boundaries aren't walls. They're standards for how you allow yourself to be treated. And people who know their worth, they hold their boundaries without apology. They don't explain, they don't justify, they don't negotiate their non-negotiables. They simply say, this doesn't work for me, and they act accordingly. If someone can't respect your boundaries, they're showing you they don't respect you. And someone who doesn't respect you doesn't deserve access to you. Stop prioritizing keeping people around over keeping your self-respect intact. The right people will respect your boundaries. The wrong people will call you difficult for having them. Let them, and let them go. When you start believing you deserve more, everything changes. You stop accepting half effort. You stop making excuses for people who don't show up. You stop convincing yourself that this is just how it is. You start walking away from things that don't serve you. Not angry, not bitterly, just calmly, knowing you deserve better. And here's what's wild. When you start moving like you're valuable, people start treating you like you're valuable. When you stop chasing, people start pursuing. When you stop begging, people start offering. When you stop settling, better shows up because the energy shifted. You're no longer operating from lack. You're operating from abundance. Not because your circumstances changed, but because your belief about what you deserve changed. And that belief shift creates an entirely different reality. Alright, let's get practical. Here's how you actually shift this. First, you identify what you're currently accepting. Look at your life honestly. Your relationships, your job, your friendships, your daily habits. What are you tolerating that you don't actually want? What are you accepting that doesn't align with what you want to be? Write it down. Get specific. Because you can't change what you won't acknowledge. Then decide what you actually deserve. Not what you think it's realistic, not what seems safe. What do you actually deserve? Healthy love, respect, opportunities that excite you, peace, joy, growth. Define it clearly. Because if you don't know what you deserve, you'll accept anything. Then raise your standards. Now that you know what you're accepting and what you deserve, there's a gap. Close it. Raise your standards to match your worth. Stop entertaining people who only reach out when they're bored. Stop staying in jobs that drain your soul. Stop accepting friendships where you're the only one making the effort. Require better, not eventually, now. Then start acting like you're already worthy. Don't wait until you feel worthy to act worthy. Act first. The feeling will follow. Dress like someone who values themselves. Speak like someone who respects themselves. Move through the world like someone who knows they matter. Your brain will catch up, but you have to lead with action. Invest into becoming who you want to attract. You want high quality people in your life? Become high quality yourself. Work on your mindset, develop your skills, heal your wounds, build your character. The version of you that attracts what you want doesn't exist yet. Start building them. And lastly, hold your boundaries like they're sacred, because they are. Your boundaries aren't suggestions, they're requirements. And when someone crosses them, you don't debate, you don't explain, you enforce. People will test you, let them, and then show them you meant what you said. Here's the thing about attracting what you deserve. It's not about manipulation or strategy or manifesting, it's about alignment. When your beliefs, your standards, your actions, and your energy all align with your worth, you become magnetic to what matches that frequency. You stop attracting people who need fixing because you're no longer operating from a need to be needed. You stop attracting situations that drain you because you're no longer accepting anything that doesn't add to your life. You stop attracting less than you deserve because you're no longer available for it. The external world always reflects the internal world. Always. So, if you want different results, become a different person. Not fake different, actually different. A person who knows their worth, who holds their standards, who refuses to settle. That person attracts better. Not because they're lucky, but because they're aligned. You deserve good things, great things. Things that light you up and make you feel alive. But you have to believe that first, before anyone else does. Before circumstances prove it. You have to move through life knowing you're worthy of more, not hoping, not wishing, knowing. And when you know it, when you really know it in your bones, you'll stop accepting less. You'll stop settling for people who can't meet you at your level. You'll stop tolerating situations that don't honor your value. You'll stop living small because you think that's all you get. And in that shift, from believing you're lucky to get anything to knowing you deserve everything good, your entire reality transforms. Not overnight, but inevitably. Because you're no longer attracting from lack, you're attracting from worth. And worth attracts what it deserves. Stop asking why you keep attracting the wrong things. Start asking, what am I believing about myself that makes this feel like all I deserve? And then change the belief. Everything else will follow.